Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, persons of all ages, welcome to the most exclusive group in the wrestling community. And now, your hosts, first, from Guadalajara, Puerto Rico, Macho Rodriguez! And his tag team partner from New Brunswick, Canada, God's Gift, Tyler!
Mi gente, the tag team is back. Welcome back to a full cast on the Must Love Wrestling podcast as we welcome back from a cruise across the globe, Tyler the Talent Taylor. What's going on, my guy? How you doing?
What's happening? Yeah, about this time last week, I was cruising past your island.
There you go, man. And that's pretty exciting. I'm sure you had lots of fun doing that.
It was a good time. Yeah, it was a really good time.
Good shit, good shit. So, guys, we have a pretty special show ready for you today as we are going to give our year-end awards for AEW and WWE, male and female, all around. We have a pretty full show for you. But before we get started, we wanted to touch on a couple of things that happened this past week in professional wrestling. And we're going to start with the most recent breaking news. As was reported by literally everyone about an hour ago, Liv Morgan was arrested for marijuana for holding 20 grams of marijuana at a traffic stop earlier today. I mean, goddamn, Liv, for real? That's a lot. That's a lot of weed. So Tyler, as we know, her job will not be in jeopardy because we know the Usos have had their run-ins with the law, but they also have lots of family that are willing to cape up for them. What do you think this means for Liv Morgan and her future in WWE? I mean, she was about ready for a comeback.
Nothing good. I was wondering where she was. I hadn't seen her in a couple of days. No, this is not great. That is a lot. Other than that, I'd say, who cares, because it's weed, but that's a lot.
We should be. I should report on here that there is a possibility that it's synthetic cannabinoid.
Cannabis? Okay.
Yes. So we don't know necessarily what that means. All we know is that Liv was busted with a little bit of a pot, and clearly when she's on her way back, we know that WWE's kind of had their handful recently with weed and also alcohol issues. So we'll see what happens here. We don't know if it's going to go any further than this, but it could just be one of those random things where,
Now, was she under the influence or in possession?
So far, we have just gotten the most gorgeous mugshot I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, boy.
So she is absolutely makeup free, and she looks as nervous as possible. So this looks like it's probably her first arrest. She looks like someone who is genuinely scared to be out there. It does not look like the typical wrestler mugshots that we've seen in the past. She looks like someone who is not comfortable with bracelets around her wrists.
Oh, that's a shame. I wonder. That's surprising if she's got that much.
I'm sure CJ Perry's got her back, and she's probably already.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where she's
really
been
close.
living. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're really close. So, but just when you say something like that, it makes me wonder if it wasn't maybe somebody else's stuff in her car or something.
She was alone.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean somebody didn't leave it there. I don't know if she has a boyfriend or whatever that maybe could have. Who knows?
Well, unless you're saying Bo Dallas is a pothead all of a sudden.
Oh, are they together again?
Oh, I didn't know that they broke up.
I thought she. I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, in other news, guys, this is pretty interesting. This past Monday morning, TKO's Mark Shapiro, as well as WWE's Nick Khan and Paul Levesque, also known as Triple H, were in New York City at Warner Brothers Discovery headquarters, meeting with Warner Brothers Discovery executive Bruce Campbell about possibly moving Raw and SmackDown to TNT and TBS, one or the other. The WWE's contingent met with Campbell for several hours Monday a.m. According to WWE sources, Paul Levesque and Nick Khan were in Los Angeles several weeks ago meeting with the potential partners and told them that they had something big in the works. As we know, WWE brought in CM Punk. That was a major player in Warner Brothers giving Collision to AEW. After AEW had brought in CM Punk and marketed him to Warner Brothers Discovery as their big star to garner attention for Saturday night, they fired him pretty recently after that. It rubbed Warner Brothers Discovery the wrong way, and they paused all negotiations and saw the traction that CM Punk brought to WWE and have resumed negotiations with WWE with looking to move AEW off of TBS and TNT. There has also been reports that AEW may have overplayed their hand and might be relegated to Access. So, Tyler, it's a lot of information.
That is a lot of information.
How would you like to dissect that?
Isn't SmackDown already locked in with USA?
Yes.
Okay. So that would
Did
mean
I say SmackDown? Or did I
you said both.
Yeah, but just Raw. Just Raw.
Just Raw. Okay. Makes sense. It would certainly suck for AEW at this point.
Well, they fired CM Punk, so that they're the only ones that are at fault here.
Well, no, CM Punk was at fault for that too.
Nope, I disagree.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I disagree with you. You have to be able to put money first, and if you have a billion-dollar company that you told you were going to do something, this is their fault. This shows that they can't control their own talent.
Well, that's true.
Okay.
But
that's
at the same time, you can't have him running around just fighting anyone he wants and
he didn't
talking
don't know
about
the
anyone
truth.
he wants.
This is true. This is being reported. Even Dave Meltzer and the guy that he interviews on his show, they even talked about this. Dave Meltzer had to walk back this stuff because he said this wasn't true, and then this week he had to walk it back and say, "Oh well, guys, things change in the wrestling business," because he's an idiot.
How many issues did the man have while he was there?
I don't care. He's had the same. How many people have had issues backstage in WWE? They don't just fire them for this shit.
But how many? There was a new one every week.
No, there was a new one that was being reported because they have these two marks that are playing Shawn Michaels wannabes that think that they run the company, and they just kept doing stuff. Everything was done with them. It all started at Punk's debut when they released on Being Elite. They're backstage of being annoyed with CM Punk's debut. We saw it. So unless you're telling me that was a work, but literally everything else they did was shoot, I don't believe it. I believe that Tony Khan made a mistake letting go of CM Punk, and he should have let go of the Young Bucks.
I don't think that that's an option.
Okay, well, they're not EVPs anymore. They've stepped down.
They also were not. They were not the ones that consistently had issues.
Well, they have one of the boys now, who is in the disciplinary committee, that could have stood up and said, "Hey, we're done with this. We're starting new. We can't let him go. He's money.
So why didn't he?
Because I believe he was pressured. I believe that the company itself was pressured. I believe that Tony Khan did what he did because...
You're speaking of Bryan Danielson, right?
Yeah, I'm speaking of Brian and Tony Khan. I believe that they were pressured into letting go of CM Punk. And
I think Bryan Danielson has the integrity that he would not do it unless he thought it was the right thing.
I mean, he has nothing but glowing things to say about Punk now that Punk's
I
in
understand
WWE.
that he may like him as a person and he may not have any issues with him, but he can also see the bigger picture that this was never going to work. There was something new every we'll say every couple weeks. Like there was he made and he did apologize for this, but he made this stupid unnecessary comment about Hangman's action figure unprovoked.
Mhm.
The Jack Perry thing, he was provoked, but he's also an adult who could have just said, "You're not worth my time."
Okay, but if you're the owner of a company and you have people approach CM Punk and ask CM Punk to talk to Jack Perry, and that's Jack Perry's response, why not have those same people go to the Young Bucks and say, guys, this one's on us? We asked him to do something. Perry's response is why he responded this way. This is our fault. Punk is not at fault here. Nobody did that. Everybody kept their tail between their legs and they lost their money.
You say that, but he's still responsible for how he reacts. You're responsible for how you act.
I just don't believe. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. If you approach me in a threatening manner, I'm gonna punch you in the face, and I
But you
feel
don't
like
have
you would
to.
do the same thing.
But
That's not.
you don't have to.
But I'm stupid. Like I grew up in Puerto Rico, where that's how we live.
But if you did that, there'd be consequences, right?
No, not on the island. You don't get arrested for fighting in school. They just send you home.
Okay, well
That's exactly what it's like. You see, that's the thing is that there are people that live in this bubble that are just like, oh, no, you don't have to fight anybody. No, I'm sorry. That's not the way the world works.
But
It works in that.
Are you the same person who, when they had the brawl out a year ago, was calling for people to lose their jobs because you just can't fight people at work anymore in this day and age?
Who was I calling for them to fire?
I think at the beginning it was Punk, and then you heard more, and you were like, "Well, no, maybe it's so and so's fault."
Because
And again, I just think everyone was out of line there.
Because the way that it was presented to me, as new information comes, your thinking evolves.
Right? No, I understand that as we get more information,
as the way it was presented was that Punk went at them, and then all of a sudden we found out that the Young Bucks kicked his door down and kicked his dog, and
Well, I don't think they kicked his dog, but.
Well, I'm sorry. If Kenny Omega needs to physically grab your dog to move him from harm's way, that tells me that the dog was in
the dog was in the he was there, so he was protecting the dog. Good on Kenny. He's a great human being.
Yes. I mean, that is one of those really when I look at this, I look at it as we talked about this countless times on this podcast. We always agreed with this. They should have all put their egos aside and just went out there and made money.
They should have, and I don't know why they didn't sit down. Now, the thing that I have, the issue that I have with the Young Bucks is them saying, "Oh, well, if he goes 6 months without issues, we'll sit down with him." No, just sit down and get through your shit.
That's the problem, and this is
the only way that I don't think CM Punk would do this. The only way that I say that is if they did not trust him to work with them, which I think he's a pro and he would have done business. I've never heard about shooting on anyone.
I just don't believe that would have been something that would have happened. I know
I've never heard of him taking liberties with anybody, so I don't believe that either. But that doesn't mean that they didn't believe that.
I mean, he beat up Jack Perry and the other two, but that's about it. Like, I don't think
that's backstage. That's different. I mean, in the ring when someone's giving you their body.
Yeah, I don't think he would pull a sexy star and actually hurt people. But
again, in most places there are consequences to your actions, and that's maybe how a lot of us would react, but there would be consequences for that.
Okay, so let me ask you this from a business standpoint. WB had a relationship with AEW, right? They were building a relationship with AEW, so they were privy to all of this. I'm sure they were told about everything CM Punk did that warranted getting him fired, right?
Right.
Why would they pause negotiations with AEW and start them with WWE, seeing that CM Punk is being so successful, he's become the #1 merch seller, he's got the highest rated segments. That's what I'm asking you right now. If they are privy to all the information that you and I have, and obviously they're privy to more, why are
More
they
probably, yeah.
moving with Punk?
Yeah, that's interesting. Because like I'm just thinking about like other like I'm thinking about it in terms of like because they're a big production company, so I'm thinking about it in terms of like movies and TV shows, and like people have been fired off of shows for stuff like what happened with him, like what's his name, Thomas Gibson from Criminal Minds.
Oh yeah. Hodge.
Yeah, Hotch. Isaiah, is it Isaiah Watch, the guy from Grey's Anatomy?
He said something despicable.
He also did a few other things, didn't he?
I mean, that's the
Or
only
was it just, or was it just because he said? So I don't remember what he said.
It's whatever he said to George O'Malley, whoever the real actor's name is.
Oh,
It's whatever he said. Yeah,
I thought he hit somebody or something.
Mm-mm. He said something derogatory about homosexuality.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I remember now. My bad. I was thinking he had hit somebody. So there's precedent for stuff like that to happen though. Like when you know you do things like that backstage. So I guess I don't understand why Time Warner wouldn't get that and still want to. I mean, but by all intents, he seems freer, happier than he ever did in AEW.
Yes. I mean, as you know, HBK said recently in one of his weekly interviews that it seems like he's doing like constantly. He was one of those unlikable guys. He was the guy that rubbed everybody the wrong way, but he should have been fired years ago, but he was so good at his job that it stuck around. And he said that he sees the same value in CM Punk. So he has opened the door, and it looks like CM Punk has taken that seriously. It meant a lot to him because it's being reported all week that CM Punk was really honored by HBK opening the doors and saying, "You're welcome at NXT." And he's been helping a lot of the young talent down there. He has attended the past 2 NXT shows back to back. Like he's made it. He wants to do what the guys in AEW wouldn't let him do, which is help the next generation forward.
Right, and I wish that's what had happened, that they had just let him, and I said this on Work of the Marks the other night, that they had just let him work with his people, the people who wanted his help could come to him for help, and he had no problem with that, and not forced him. Like who thought it was a good idea to have CM Punk go tell somebody not to do something?
Yeah,
do you think that news is going to be delivered in the most gentle way?
No, and it speaks to I love the people that are defending Tony Khan at this moment that are like, it wasn't it Tony Khan that went out in front of Chicago and told everybody that he personally let go of CM Punk, and I'm like, yeah, but wasn't it Tony Khan who also hired Brian Danielson to go on the committee, the wrestler court, whatever you want to call it? And wasn't he also the guy that allowed people to go ask CM Punk to take care of his dirty work? That to me is pretty telling. Like the guy isn't really, he's not really positioned himself to be that like slam the gavel, like you're going to do this. I'm the boss. This is what we need to happen. And it's unfortunate because they missed out on a lot of money.
So the idea, and we didn't get a chance to have a show that week, so we didn't get a chance to talk about this. The idea that he had Danielson on that committee or whatever, it makes a lot of sense to me that he would remove himself because he's personally involved.
Yes.
And he would put someone who he trusts, and he said how much he trusts Brian Danielson, someone who we all know has the utmost integrity in the position to make that call.
Yes.
So that to me makes sense. But then don't go on TV and talk about how you did what you had to do. And maybe he did deliver the final news. I don't know. But I almost wish he'd never gone there.
I don't think he'd be back in wrestling then. I think he
Maybe I
needed
don't
to go
know.
there. I think he needed to go there. He needed to have that match with Samoa Joe. I think he needed to reach out, and I think and this is just my speculation. Okay. No one has said this. It's not a rumor. This is just me right here on our podcast saying something. I think Cody has a lot to do with CM Punk going to WWE. I think Cody knows what really happened and let them know Punk wasn't the problem. Probably told them why he left AEW, and he has been playing a role so he doesn't get bashed by people in AEW. I honestly believe Cody knew what happened. He knew what happened in Wembley. They told him everything, and he was like, you know what? We need to get him over here because over here he can make money, and it's where it matters for him to be here. Because I can't think of any other reason why that's a thing. Yeah, and Jade Cargill, she probably talked him up too. That I agree with that. D, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
that's probably right.
Yeah. Well, moving
That's
on, since
interesting.
well, go ahead.
Now bringing up Jade, that's interesting. I still can't figure out what happened there. She just saw a better opportunity.
Yeah, I think she just wanted. I think it's probably what MJF wants ultimately. He just wants
because it's not like they didn't. It's not like they didn't treat her right there. I mean, she didn't lose for like 3 years. She had constant TV time.
Yeah,
she was a star.
I think that was just a natural, like, hey, I'm ready to. I just want to go over here. I think that's okay. But since we're talking about CM Punk, you wanted to talk about his promo with Seth Rollins this week. That was an absolute fire ass promo. So, yes, I agree with this too. The Machine will get way more eyes.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah. So, you had some specific thoughts about Seth Rollins and CM Punk's promo.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here in this very chair watching it the other night, and I literally had chills. I've never felt. It's been so long since I felt something like that in wrestling, but it reminds me of like CM Punk is the older brother, and he grew up, and the WWE is the dad, and the dad was really tough back when the older brother was growing up, and he was really tough on him. Same with like Cody, who he went, and he had to leave because the dad was really tough on him. Yeah. But then, Seth came up when the dad is a little older and a little more mellow. And so he doesn't understand why these guys left. And they said all these bad things about his dad because he's got an issue with both of them, right?
Yes.
So, like, he doesn't understand why these guys left and said all these things about his dad, but now they're back home. And it's like, it feels really real and really important and really just organic, and it's a great story.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I'm just enjoying it so much that I don't truly have an opinion about the matter yet. Like what I saw when I watched that promo was I was like, this is exactly what I wanted. I want the promo to go back to their NXT tag team match, and I wanted to just keep going. I wanted to show every time CM Punk beat him when he was with the Shield. I wanted to show all of the time Seth Rollins trash talk CM Punk. I want to see the WWE backstage on Fox on FS1 where like CM Punk cut that mini promo telling him to worry about what he's doing in the ring and stop focusing on a guy who's not even working in the wrestling business. Like, I want all of that, and I feel like we got it. I love that. I know a lot of people are, because, AEW wrestling fans, and not all of them, not like people like yourself, but like a lot of AEW wrestling fans had to point out that it was very similar to the things that Adam Page said. And I think the difference is that he was unaware Adam Page was going to say that. There's no way WWE would put CM Punk in the position to not know. Like, they were like, hey, and this is what I love about this. They are having Drew McIntyre do it. They are having Grayson Waller do it. They are definitely playing off of all of the issues that CM Punk went through this summer. and
Right.
or these past couple years, and it's working because guess what, guys? They weren't just chanting Seth Rollins' theme song. Seth was in that fucking ring, and they were chanting CM Punk.
I think my favorite line from any of his promos was when he was talking about Kevin Owens, and he's like, I don't know if I can work with a guy who goes around punching people backstage. You just can't do that in 2023.
Yeah, I love that. I thought it was great.
I almost called you. I was just like, it was like 1 a.m. when I was watching it, so I didn't.
We got a little bit of breaking news from SmackDown tonight. The return of AJ Styles as he came back at the end of SmackDown. We're not going to go into all of SmackDown because we're going to jump into our wrestling awards here right after this. He came back at the end as the Bloodline was beating down Randy Orton and LA Knight. And AJ Styles came back to the defense as the Bloodline leaves the ring. And LA Knight and Randy Orton are standing tall. AJ Styles attacks LA Knight. So AJ comes back as a heel, and now it's going to be AJ versus LA Knight. This is amazing. I am very excited. This is a great way to get LA Knight over, and I'm excited because I love heel AJ Styles is so much more interesting than babyface AJ Styles.
I just don't believe him as a heel. He's just...
You cannot say that with a serious face on our show as many times as you've defended Finn Balor.
Okay, so same thing. It's just... He seems like a guy playing a character.
I think AJ's a phenomenal heel. Okay. I mean, no pun intended. That did work out really well there, though. No, I just think he's a really good heel. Like when he was a heel against John Cena, I bought that shit. I was like, yeah,
okay. I guess I've just seen some like
his comical shit when he's with the OC or whatever. That's the problem. He needs to be solo. He needs to be a solo heel. Plus, he looked really jacked, guys. You got to go watch the clip. It looks awesome.
I did like him as a heel in TNA, like when he was with Flair and he was a champion.
Oh, yeah.
There's two things you can do about it: nothing and like it.
Yes, I love that. I think that's pretty exciting. All right, so why don't we jump into the first tweet from WWE? Why AJ? Love it, love it. Keeps Randy Orton fresh for Roman Reigns, and now we have LA Knight in a brand new feud. Nobody knew where he was going, and you're wondering why he's not in the U.S. title tournament. All right, so let's move on to our wrestling awards. Now, Tyler was very specific in how he wanted to do this. We are going to name, for example, we're doing best heel. That's one of our categories. We're going to name a male and female from WWE and a male and female from AEW. That's how we're going to do the entire thing. So why don't we get started?
Well, okay. If we're going to do that, because this will be probably the close of the show, right? Do we have anything after this?
No.
Why don't we do the intermission then?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just jump into my match of the week recommendation because I have watched this match a couple times this week and I really enjoyed it. It's from Ring of Honor 2004 and it's CM Punk versus Samoa Joe 2. It is one of their better matches. There is no winner, so you don't need to worry about that. This match was the match that kind of put CM Punk on the map, and it kind of showcased Samoa Joe as like the big deal in Ring of Honor. So I loved it. I thought it was very topical because CM Punk is hot shit right now in professional wrestling. So yeah,
and Joe's doing pretty damn good work too.
Yes, Joe is doing pretty damn good work right now.
You thought I came out here as a detective. What if I came out here as an executioner?
Yeah, love that. I love the idea of Samoa Joe and Hangman Adam Page. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so Tyler, you have you're next up with this week in wrestling history, and then I will give this day in wrestling history.
Yeah, so it was going to be a this day in wrestling history. We had some car trouble the other night, Lewis did, so it became a this week. 28 years ago Wednesday, the second Super J Cup happened in I'm not sure exactly where in Japan. It was won by Jushin Thunder Liger. It was put on by WAR, which is Wrestle and Romance, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it had such stars as Wild Pegasus, who you may know as the Crippler, Chris Jericho. I believe Eddie Guerrero was in there as Black Tiger. I know he was in the first one. I'm not positive on the second one.
Mm-hmm.
The match of the tournament was given to the aforementioned Crippler versus Chris Jericho, and what I believe was their first ever singles match.
Mm.
I've seen it. I got it. I don't know how many times it holds up today. There's, if you want to cry, there's a terrific. It's set to the Killers when we were young, or when you were young, and it's highlights from the match. It's on YouTube. Look it up if you want to have a good cry. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I like it. Come on, motherfucker. It's a great one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an absolute great one. So
I don't throw very many slaps. I'm not that good at it.
Yeah, I love it. I loved old school Jericho. I loved how every time he threw a punch or something, he was like, "Siat, siat." Every time he just had this specific sound.
For those who don't know, there's the Crippler slaps him at the beginning of the match, and he's kind of knocked out for a minute. And he asks, he's like, "Sorry about that. I don't throw too many slaps. I'm not that good at it." And he's like, "My, bruised jaw begs to differ."
Yeah. Well, we're jumping to this day in wrestling history. 36 years ago today, the second annual Slammy Awards were presented at the Caesars Palace in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Some of the Slammy Awards included that night were Best Performance by George the Animal Steele, Woman of the Year, Miss Elizabeth, Best Ring Apparel, Harley Race. The Hulk Hogan Real American Award was won by Superstar Billy Graham. Jesse the Body Ventura Award was Rick Rude, Greatest Hit, Jim Duggan, Best Vocal Performance, Jim Duggan, Best Group, One Man Gang, Humanitarian of the Year, Ted DiBiase, and Best Head, Gene Okerlund and Bam Bam Bigelow. 39 years ago today in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the Undertaker's absolute favorite tag team of all time, the Road Warriors, wrestled for the AWA Tag Team Championship, and they went to a no contest with the Fabulous Ones.
Did I miss something? The Undertaker, or was that a...
Yes, the Undertaker on his podcast this week gave his Mount Rushmore of tag teams. I believe they were Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson was number 4. The Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, and his number 1 tag team of all time was the Road Warriors.
Okay,
and then
I wasn't sure if that was sarcasm or...
No, he went on to say that for the boys in the back, in every single wrestling company around the world, whenever somebody got a loud ass pop, they said they called it the Road Warrior Pop. He said that they made more money than single superstars. They were absolutely top notch. Yeah, you should listen to it. It's really great. He said that his Mount Rushmore. And he's given out some really good Mount Rushmore recently.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So for yourself, Tyler, you said that you have a pop quiz.
I do. Okay. So he seems to be the man of the hour, the man with the power, CM Punk. Mm-hmm. As we know, he's a 2-time Money in the Bank award briefcase winner.
Yes, sir.
However, did you know that he was not supposed to be the winner of the first time at WrestleMania 24?
Really?
Who was, and why didn't he win?
I do not know.
This is context. This is spring of 2008. If that helps.
It does not.
Would you like another hint?
Sure. I can't think of who was more popular than Punk in 2008. I thought he was the absolute choice coming out of
No,
ECW and
this
stuff.
guy was finally becoming a single superstar. Yeah, exactly. D, good job. He was finally becoming a single superstar after being in a great tag team, an
Cody?
influential tag team.
I don't know.
The reason he didn't win it is because he was suspended.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember he
I didn't.
beat he wrestled Orton on Raw and he did the fucking swanton off the ladder or off the stage thing. And he beat Triple H on pay-per-view and he wrestled Randy in the main event of the Rumble. He was really heating up. He was Intercontinental Champion, and all of a sudden he dropped the Intercontinental title to Jericho on Raw, and he was out because he was suspended. Well, I found out recently that, at least allegedly, he was supposed to win that Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I did not know that at all. Nope. I didn't even know, and I'm a Jeff Hardy fan. I didn't even know that. I'm an actual I'm an actual fan who feels like it's another reason why it makes me hate AEW because the way they're treating the Hardy Boys. But I mean, and they're being very vocal about it, so it's not like I'm the only one saying anything. Like Matt and Jeff have spoken out about it, so you'd think they'd
But
be happy
also,
because
they
they have a
were
good
in the other
show.
company, and they couldn't. They weren't happy there either. So
They also won the tag team titles, though.
they did, but then they won the tag team titles here too, didn't they? And then or
Yeah,
they at
but
least, and then Jeff had issues and had to go away. And at this point, honestly, why would you give Jeff Hardy any type of responsibility of anything of any importance? Why would you? How would you trust him for that at this point?
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he needs to be AEW World Champ, but I would definitely respect him more than having him work pre-shows.
No, I agree with you there. I mean, I think he should be on TV. Although, again, it comes down to the issue of reliability.
Yeah, I suppose. But I don't know. All right, so Tyler, you had a promo you wanted to give?
Sure. So this is from SummerSlam 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Am I still with you?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, because I'm reading the promo, so I don't know if you couldn't see me or.
I can see you. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just prepping the rest of our show while I'm listening to your promo.
Okay. Because I can't see you anyway, but it's okay. First of all, I want to come out here and thank everyone who has supported us through this difficult time. But let's get right to it. This is Shawn Michaels, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I recently had an appointment with my doctors for a reevaluation of my eye, and due to complications with the eye, compounded with knee surgeries and back surgery and countless other injuries I've had in my career, his recommendation to me and us was for me to walk away. Now, ultimately, he said it was my decision. After talking it over with my wife and other family members, we've decided for the first time in my professional career, it's time to heed the doctor's advice and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know that I have had a wonderful career and I regret nothing. I came here in 1988 and I can remember my first SummerSlam. And from that SummerSlam to this one, each and every one of you has given me the opportunity to be the Heartbreak Kid, the headliner, the main event, the icon, the showstopper, and even Mr. WrestleMania. I've also been known for some other things. I'm known as the guy who screwed Bret Hart. I'm also the guy who formed Generation X, the man who innovated the ladder match. I'm the guy who lost a smile, and I'll forever be known as the man who retired Ric Flair. LOL.
Mm.
Not the now. I have the opportunity to be known as something else: full-time husband and full-time father. Now, ultimately, I know this is not going to be a popular decision, but I know it's the right one. So I want to come out here and from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank. And then Jericho's music hits. He's the one that had injured Shawn, and he comes out and he says, "No, Shawn, excuse me. Jericho, you heard exactly what I said, and I said, no, I'm not going to allow you to go out this way. I'm not going to allow you to take the eye injury I gave you and mix it with all the rest of your injuries and go out on your own terms. It's not going to happen. You're walking away from this business because of Chris Jericho, and I want you to admit that to my face right now. Sean, you have even the slightest amount of human decency you'll get out of this ring right now. Jericho, no, I'm not going anywhere until you admit to the world that I'm the reason why you are walking away. It isn't because of the doctor's orders or your family's influence. You're walking away because of what Chris Jericho did to you. You should never forget that I'm the one who damaged you. God, he's such a good heel in this time. Damaged your eye beyond repair, and I want to hear you say it. You need to admit that to your wife, and you need to go home and talk to your precious children and tell them why daddy can't work anymore. Admit it to yourself in your heart of hearts. Most importantly, you need to admit it to me because I deserve to hear it. I've earned the right to say that I put you out. I want the last moment of your professional career to be looking me face to face, eye to eye, and saying Chris Jericho put you out for good. Because it doesn't matter. All your accomplishments and all your accolades, all the championships you've won and fans you've made. Because right now the epitaph for your professional career is going to read Shawn Michaels, the man who was forced to walk away from the wrestling business because of Chris Jericho. Sean, okay, Chris, I'll admit it. I'll go home. I'll sit down my wife. I'll sit down my kids, and I'll tell them the reason daddy can't wrestle anymore is because of the actions of a vile, selfish, worthless human being. But I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go home, sit down your wife, sit down your kids, look them in the eyes, and tell them that daddy will never, ever be Shawn Michaels. And then Jericho goes to punch him and punches Sean's wife accidentally on purpose.
And she took it. She said, "Is that all you got?" When she was backstage.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean,
Sean was freaking out, and Rebecca took it like a champ.
Yeah, she's a beast.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that has been our intermission. We're about to jump right into our Must Love Wrestling award show. So why don't we get started with one of the lower level awards, which is Most Improved Wrestler of the Year. So Tyler, since this was your idea, why don't you get us started? Who was your most improved AEW, male and female?
Okay, most improved male. I don't know that I'd say he's necessarily improved. He's improved in the way he's presented on TV and his position on the card, and he's treated like a big deal now. I'm gonna give it to Swerve.
Okay.
I always thought he was great, as have you, but he went from a guy who was kind of mid card, maybe even lower, and now he's one of the guys. And he's earned every damn step of it.
Oh, D has well, Thunder Rosa hasn't wrestled in a long time, so she can't be most improved. But I do like the Ricky Stark idea. Yeah, that's a good one. Ricky Stark has been presented really well. And for your female, Tyler.
Female AEW?
Yes.
Gotta be Julia.
Oh wow, okay.
She almost couldn't work, and now she's legit. She's still not, Becky or Charlotte, but she's,
We are going to stop right here just to give a little bit of breaking news before I give my AEW most improved. Charlotte Flair has been confirmed she will miss 9 months with a torn ACL.
That sucks.
Yes, that was announced today. Getting back to this was Charlotte, I love you. I'm going to miss you. Wrestling will not be the same without you. This fucking sucks. You're not going to be at WrestleMania this year. I was looking forward to you versus Bianca.
Get well.
Yeah. So yeah, get well soon, please, Queen, because you are the queen of professional wrestling. But I'm sure Becky's going to hold this shit down for you. Her and Rhea are going to tear it up. So my most improved for female is Toni Storm. I feel like Toni Storm going from like afterthought with Ruby and Saraya and being kind of like a transition champ, like, oh, we're just going to be champ just to get the title of this person. Sorry, guys. I definitely started work early this morning. Yeah, I thought her improvement to this new character for like this throwback, this like, I'm ready for my close up, Mr. DeMille. Like, I love it. The whole Mulholland Drive thing. I think she has been absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. Yes.
What do you think of the
You
switches
jerk.
to black and white?
Yeah, that's what. It's funny. That's
But
what he
like,
said.
they go from black and white to color and back and forth. Like when she's doing commentary the other night, like I was making me dizzy.
I love it. I think it just
Okay.
plays into her character. I think she's playing really well. And one of my all-time favorite movies, It's a Wonderful Life. That's a black and white
Okay.
movie.
I dig the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Sorry.
other most improved, I had a feeling that your answer was going to be Swerve, so I didn't want to have the same answer as you. So I'm giving it to Andrade. I feel
Okay.
like Andrade right now has been absolutely killer in the ring. I really don't understand what the purpose of having CJ Perry as your mouthpiece, and you're still cutting promos. You're still talking in the back. I feel like CJ should do all the talking for you. But anyway, yeah, I think he's been presented really well, and I
Mhm.
think he's improved like greatly. The way he's being just shown, I think he looks phenomenal right now.
I would agree with you. He's been definitely since the start of Collision.
Yeah,
Um,
he's definitely been showcased as one of the Collision guys.
Another one I would say is Brody King.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think of this till now, but Darby. I think Darby's improved a lot.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he doesn't look like he's going to die every match now. He actually looks like he's working, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, so let's move on to one of the least.
Do we want to do that for WWE as well?
Oh yeah, for WWE, yes. Since you gave your AEW, I'm going to give my WWE first. So I'm going to give my female to Maxine Dupree. I feel like she has improved. Her match on Monday was not great, but she just doesn't have any chemistry with Rhea yet. I'm sure they'll do better the next time. And that was a big spotlight for her. But before this match, she looked really great. Her character is phenomenal. What else can you really say about her? She meshes really well with Chad Gable, Akira Tozawa, and Otis. They are a really good group right now. Very exciting. Very exciting to watch her complete transition from a valet to an actual worker. She looks great. And for my male, I'm gonna have to give it to the Mr. Century. I'm gonna have to give it to the workhorse of the year. I'm gonna have to give it to Dom. From last year to this year, his in-ring work has been drastically different. I mean, he looks like a 15-year pro right now. Watching him in the ring right now, having special match after special match on just like Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Even when people comment and put on Twitter about his house shows, I can't think of a better person than most improved than Dom.
Yeah, he gets it. That's the thing.
Yep.
Do you want me to pick someone else just so we don't have the same answer? Because
I mean, if you want, you could. I mean, you could.
I mean, it's obviously Dom, but I'll go ahead and do an honorable mention. And it's because they're finally letting him be him, and he's engaged and he's trying. I'll go with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Nice, I like that.
It's obviously Dom, but I mean, it's boring if we have the same answer.
Yeah.
And for the women, I'm gonna go with Shotzi.
Shotzi, I love that. Especially because Triple H has come out in her defense and said that she belongs in that spotlight.
Right, and versus from a year or so ago when she's having, brutal matches on pay-per-view to she looked like she belonged in the War Games match.
100%. All right, so one of the I don't know. I don't really know how to give this award because I feel like nobody likes this anymore. So we'll just do this quick. We won't give a reasoning, but best babyface of the year. I feel like nobody likes baby faces anymore. So it's really hard to get excited for something that people don't actually want to hear. So,
WWE has a lot. Who was it? I think it was Cody who said in the press conference after Survivor Series, they've got a lot of really good ones.
Mm.
But AEW is, you're right. Hmm. Is because the Blackpool Combat Club are heels, right?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yep.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Eddie Kingston?
Okay. I like that. He's a good baby
He's
face.
everyone loves him.
Yeah. And female?
Oh fuck. Um
Can't be Julia. She's a heel.
yeah, I know. Sheeta?
Okay.
I mean,
All
I
right.
guess aren't they all kind of heels?
Yeah, I suppose. For me, I would have to say babyface for AEW. I'm gonna have to give it to Orange Cassidy.
Okay. Yeah. My brain stopped working there for a second.
And then for female, I'm gonna have to give it to Chris Statlander. I mean,
Okay.
just
Yeah, sure.
she's the
No,
epitome
Willow.
of a
Willow.
babyface.
It's Willow.
All right. Well,
My answer's Willow.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
stick with Chris. Yeah.
Okay.
For WWE, I think it's easy. That's got to be the easiest. It's Cody and Becky. That's it.
Yeah, sure.
Can't think of any better, like any bigger babyface than Cody Rhodes.
Cody. It's got to be Cody on the men's side.
Yeah.
Let me try.
I mean, if Liv was there, I might pick Liv just because she has that
It's
interaction.
Becky.
Yeah, it's got to be Becky. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to a fun one. Best heel of the year, AEW. I feel like all four of these should be identical. If we have any different here, then I feel like we're not watching the same show.
Okay, so who goes first?
You've been going first every time. You just forget that.
I thought we were alternating. Okay.
Well, you're doing AEW first. I'm doing WWE first. Unless you want to switch it up this time.
That's fine. Christian.
Yep, same. I don't even have to go.
Yeah. I mean, this is such an asshole.
Yep.
Best heel. Or best baby. Or no.
Best heel.
Yeah, my brain. Fuck my brain. Ooh. Tony?
Yep. Same. All right.
Okay.
And then for WWE, I feel like, is there a better heel than the power couple, Dom and Rhea?
No.
Yeah. I feel like heel was super easy this year. The same four people have been phenomenal. I do feel like Rhea does have an in with the fans. She is absolutely in a position to be like she just fans love her. I mean, she's that great. She's transcendent. Like what she does in the ring is so special, and she is a primetime star on any show she's on. All right. So now let's move into match of the year. AEW for the women. Tyler, match of the year.
The triple threat from Wembley?
I thought that was a fatal four-way.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I had a feeling that was going to be your answer, so I went with a televised match. I went Jade Cargill's last match, wrestling Chris Statlander. I really felt like that was a really great way for Jade to go out. She looked great. The match itself was perfect, and it showed that, we had things to look forward to in WWE. So, and for the men, for AEW.
AEW men's match of the year. It's gotta be, for me, it's Will versus Kenny.
Oh, okay. I have Bryan versus MJF 60-minute Iron Man match.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you knew Bryan was going to be in there somewhere, but I felt like why not give a little bit of love to I mean, he's got a movie coming out soon. I feel like let's give him a little bit of love. Actually, I'm
Sure.
going tomorrow. I'm taking the kids tomorrow to see his movie. So I'm very excited.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
That didn't come out till next week. That was the
No, it comes
22nd.
out. I bought tickets today.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going tomorrow. He's
Oh.
yeah. He plays Hugh Grant's body double in Willy Wonka.
Oh, Brian.
No, I'm talking about MJF. Yeah. All right. So for the women, I honestly I don't know how anybody says any other. I mean, obviously Tyler, you and I probably don't have the same one, but I'm gonna go Becky versus Trish. I felt like their last match was. I felt like it was better than Rhea versus Charlotte. I stand on that. 10 toes down, like my boy Chris Broussard says. That match was so good. Before actually doing this, I went back and rewatched it. And that match gave me goosebumps. It was that good.
Huh. Yeah, no, I think it Becky versus Tiffany won.
Ooh, love it. Love it. Great. Love that. That's a good one. That's a good one. For the men, I feel like you knew that I was going to say this. So I'm just going to say it anyway, as the flag is behind me. But it's Damien versus Bunny for me. Match of the year. That's my opinion.
So can I ask, is that does that have a little home cooking, or do you really think it was that good?
I really think it was that good.
Okay.
And I really think it was that good because Arthur, like when I watch it with him, he legitimately thinks Bunny's a wrestler. He doesn't understand. Like he doesn't even know him as a rapper, as a
Okay.
reggaeton artist. He's just like
I
he
mean,
even
he's
tells me
great.
he told me that's his favorite match ever. He
Okay.
loved like I think he just loves the violence of it and things like that. But
Hard to argue
I
with
saw
that.
this really great tweet about that match, and it said it said it's a celebrity who always wanted to be a wrestler. And
Mm-hmm.
then it showed Damien and it said, and here's a man that in one night will make 2 stars, meaning him and
Yeah.
Bunny. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, wow. Because isn't that where everybody started saying after, like, whoa. Yeah, thought that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. That is hard to argue. Wow.
I did have a second match, but I actually put it in feud of the year.
I think I got an idea on that one.
Mhm.
Man, this is tough. A lot of really good matches this year.
This is an interesting one.
Uh,
Christian is the greatest AEW wrestler of all time, the greatest wrestler out of Canada. He gets all the awards. Man, I had no idea, D, that you were this big a Christian fan. Good for you, man.
yeah.
This is how I felt like when I was a fan of Sting as a kid. I felt like I was the only Sting fan. Everybody liked Stone Cold, The Rock, HBK, and I felt like I was the only Sting fan.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm having a hard time. Sorry.
They're good.
Yeah, I can't. Nothing beats it. Nothing coming to mind to beat it. It's Seth versus Balor on Raw.
Okay.
The what was that for? Why did they have that match?
Oh, it was.
Oh, right. Seth beat him to go to the finals for the heavyweight title.
Yeah. Who did
Yeah.
Seth beat for the World Heavyweight Championship?
AJ.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. All
That was
right.
definitely the best of their 3 matches.
Yeah. All right. So, feud of the year, AEW. I don't believe that there was an actual women's feud in AEW that lasted for a very long time. So we're gonna skip that. No disrespect to the women, but there was no real feud for them. I mean, the only thing I can think of is say Willow and Athena. That's Ring of
Yeah.
Honor.
They
So
had some really good matches, so I mean,
yeah,
we'll give it to them.
yeah, we'll give it to them because AEW, the brand of AEW, they did not have a great feud. So
Yeah,
men,
they really just have not done the women justice. That's something we can easily say.
yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
We talked about Britt Baker and all of that this week, and even being a non Britt Baker fan, I feel like I had to come to her defense on working the marks, and I feel like we all did.
so it's interesting to me. There's a little bit of interesting to me on that is that she was the one. Never mind. My mind is cluttered, and I'm gonna say something stupid. I was
Okay,
gonna say she was the one that was mad that Cheeto was not traveling, and yeah,
Thunder.
right. And she's hurt now. She's not, but she wants to be. You're right. I
Yeah,
think she needs the time off, honestly, but I get it because I do think she's hurt, and I think she's been hurt for a long time.
yeah, yeah. but
But I get what she's
uh,
saying, and
yeah.
the division has not been done justice. But anyway, yeah, we'll get on to the next one.
Male AEW feud of the year.
Uh, let's see. Male AEW feud of the year has to be. I mean, it's the only one that featured a home invasion, and so it's got to be Hangman and Swerve.
100% agree with you. Do not even have a. I don't even have a second
I mean,
opinion.
when you're holding the man's baby and he
Yep.
doesn't know you're in his house,
Yep.
it don't get
I
more personal than that.
100% agree. 2 matches these guys had, and it was that good. That to me, it's the feud of the year.
Yeah.
So good.
When you're drinking each other's blood.
Yeah, I actually was really surprised because I thought Swerve was going to come out like the top star in this, and I feel like Hangman looks so good right now. Now Swerve looks great too. I know a lot of people are bitching and moaning that he lost to Mox this week, but dude, he's a bad guy. Bad guys lose. So let's calm
But
down.
they're
This is
both
for the
bad
Continental
guys.
Classic, huh?
They're both bad guys, though.
Yeah, but Swerve's a bigger deal right now. Yeah, I agree. For WWE, for the women, once again, I got to give it to Becky versus Trish.
Becky
I
and
felt like
Trish.
they were the best. Like they were the best feud. I felt like their first match was like the wet your whistle kind of match, and then their culmination. I felt like
Yeah. It's not
they
close,
showed
yeah.
out. Yeah, it's not even close. Yeah, there's nothing that I could think of. Nothing at all. For the men, I'll fight somebody. I don't care. Cody versus Lesnar was the feud of the year for me.
All right, well, this is just getting boring because, yeah, it was.
Yep, 100%. Thought it was an amazing trilogy. Loved it. I love that Cody beat him at Backlash. I love that Brock passes him out, and then I love that Cody beats him. I loved it. I love the fact that Brock went out. He has not been back since. He put over Cody in improv, and Cody's been completely shooting to the top of the card as he should be because he's literally lost 2 matches since being back. No, one. I believe it was one. He's lost one match since being back.
He lost to Brock.
Oh, he might have lost. He didn't lose, but he was in a losing effort because it was like a fatal 4-way.
They lost the tag titles.
He didn't lose.
No, I don't remember who got pinned.
He didn't lose. Yeah.
Okay.
So so he's lost 3 times since being back. I felt like that was the feud of the year. It's not even close to me.
I mean, if you guys want me to be the Finn Balor guy and say Finn versus Seth, just so we're different, I can do that. But
you're also the Cody guy too, so
yeah, it's Cody. It's Cody and Brock.
Yeah, and that actually was really cool because I'm the Brock guy. I do love Cody too. I'm not gonna I love Cody, so I can't really say that I'm not a Cody guy, but yeah, I love.
I'm sorry. I am gonna give a different answer. I'm sorry. I was thinking, it slipped my mind. Sorry, I just got some possibly troubling information. So I'm a little distracted. It's Dragunov and Mello.
Carmelo?
Yeah, Dragunov and Mello.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. All right. So why don't we do the MVP so we can wrap up so you can handle your business? So let's go here. So MVP for AEW, who do you have as the male and female?
Okay, so the female MVP is obviously Toni Storm.
100% agree with you there.
Orange Cassidy.
Okay. I'm going to give it to Swerve. I feel like he completely shouted out, like just came out of nowhere. Ever since he cut that promo, the very first time he said he wanted to be the first Black AEW World Champion, he has just been on another level.
Right.
So let's talk about speaking things into existence, because ever since he cut that promo, he's been on fucking fire. Ever since Sami Zayn cut his promo about being a World Heavyweight Champion contender, he's been on fucking fire. Now, obviously, Sammy's out for a little bit with injury, but so for my MVPs for WWE, I'm going to wrap it up with the husband and wife. It's Seth and Becky. I don't even think it's close. I wanted to give it to Roman Reigns just because it's Roman Reigns,
Definitely.
but
just to piss me off.
Well, because I love him.
There's that an added bonus. It is Seth.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mr. Scott, you're out. Oh, sorry, man.
All right.
I didn't realize you didn't like the husband and wife.
He's probably, yeah. It is Seth for sure, and yeah, I can't think of Seth and Becky.
I feel like ever since they questioned Becky Lynch whether she could work anymore, she had that street fight with Zoe Stark, and it started this run with her that has not stopped. She has not had a bad wrestling match, a bad promo, a bad segment since that Zoe Street fight. I cannot remember. I was talking about this because I was still working my overnight job. We would have like we would do like the car pod, and I was talking about it back then. I was like, I've not seen a female superstar ever go on this type of streak.
Right.
Like,
she's got 2 great matches with Trish.
She had 2 great matches with Trish. She had the Zoe Stark match. Yeah, 2 with Tiffany. Lyra. For the War Games match.
Bailey in a cage.
Yep. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. So, it's awesome. I love it. Well, guys, that's pretty much our show here. So if you enjoyed our content, if you enjoyed what we were doing, please follow, like, and subscribe our page. Follow us. Our socials have been tickering at the bottom of the page the whole time. Come join us and talk to us anytime. We'd love to have one of you on. When we hit 400 subscribers, we are going to pick one of our fans and have them join us here on the show to and we're going to let you pick the topic. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about in professional wrestling. It has to be professional wrestling, though, because this is a wrestling podcast. And but you're going to join us, and you can pick the theme of the episode. We will go from there and, kind of let you produce the show in a way. So thank you so much, guys, for Tyler and myself. We enjoy doing this for you. So please, like I said, like and subscribe so we can continue to do this for you. Thank you so much. We hit over 340 followers on YouTube. That's super exciting, and we would love to get to 400. So get the word out, like, subscribe, share, so we can continue to do this. Thank you so much, guys. We're out.
We're out.